Hey everybody, I'm Tafony, and today I'm going to be rambling about the Rabid Elephant Natural Gate. Quick disclaimer, or my anti-disclaimer, my Euro pal Marius was kind enough to lend me this. It's not mine. I have no affiliation with Rabid Elephant. These are all my own thoughts, my own ramblings. And first, right off the bat, by God, this thing is expensive. It is $571, US dollars from the seller directly. If you can get that, they have been out of stock as long as I've been into Eurorack. Scalpers I've seen here in Canada asking $750 for them, and getting it. And I know the Eurorack world is tanking and things are slowing down like crazy, but either way, this is a very expensive module, and the trim is very nice. But before I get into all that, I'm just saying that it has some very big shoes to fill with that. And so it makes me appreciate even more that Marius was kind enough to lend me it. So with all that being said, this is how it sounds. Okay, Rabid Elephant describes this as a completely unique circuit and a fresh take on low-pass gates. The manuals and the promo materials are all full of language that I associate with, like, physical modeling synthesizers. So when I looked at this originally, I saw these three icons that I think are envelopes, and they are envelopes from when you're looking at them, but the idea is that they're supposed to mimic different surfaces. So there's lots of physical modeling stuff in here, and even the name and natural gate, it's all implying a lot of that sort of thing. I'll quote from the manual directly now, and this is really sounding like the Qubit Surface manual from when I was reading it. But quoting from the manual now, the natural gate has been designed to generate a signature response evocative of the acoustics of the natural world. Think of how the plucking of a string or the beating of a drum head produces organic sounds we are all intimately familiar with. Sounds that resonate with us, they feel right. To obtain these qualities, we started with a blank slate and developed an instrument with its own unique character, a character unhampered by the conventions of traditional circuits and devices. So I'm very interested in how that's going to sound, but if I can, without playing it before reading that, if I can translate the marketing speak, I'm going to assume that what they're trying to point out is that it's not a Buchla-esque gate. It's not any classic low-pass gate. It's its own design. If I can just say off the bat, the price is crazy, but the value is there in that you get two, and the build quality is amazing. It comes in a bloody satin pouch, and it has, I won't pull it out of the rack to show it, but it has a metal casing on the back that's really just like the trim is really nice. So yeah, it's $1 million, but it's very nice. The build is there. Just to accentuate what I'm trying to say there, even these cutouts, if I can just remove one of these knurlies, they're shaped like freaking elephants, right? I mean, that has to add $1 million. It's so cute. I sound like I'm kidding, but I'm not. Well, maybe about the $1 million part. Let's go over the controls. You'll see that there is the two gates, and they are mirrored. So input is on the left of the right side and on the right of the left side. But just for ease of demonstrating this, and so I can hopefully cover up the panel less than I did in the Pico videos. I'm going to demonstrate with this one channel, and then we'll go from there. So let's go through the panel, and I'll just say first, I am using the Noise Engineering Vert Iter Legio, which is an oscillator that uses a lot of the voices that are on the Arturia Microfreak, and it sounds like this. It's got an arpeggio coming in from the Architect. It's pretty chorusy, and I like how it sounds. And yeah, so getting its pitch and its gate from the Architect. I will probably switch that up at some point during this so you don't go insane hearing the same arpeggio for the entirety of this video. So let's go through the controls. So there is the decay slider. This adjusts the decay time from a very short, highly dampened clicks/taps to events ringing several seconds in duration. This is the offset control. So right now you hear it tapping. Let's open this up. And you can hear it fully open and fully closed. Now there is a open slider that allows you to manually open it, as I showed you before when I wanted to demonstrate the oscillator. And hopefully we can get to a spot where I'm clear on what the need for that one is, but you can bypass the low pass gate almost by just opening that up. And obviously this is the same across the two, I don't need to tell you that, but so if you want it to not close all the way, you can get something like that, or some envelopes moving in that way. For me, when I think low pass gates, I want them to close. I want the full sweep. But maybe there's a spot for that. If you're droning and you want this to, just do some dynamics on it, I guess I could see that. Let it sing and have some random gates, just change the amplitude, give it some subtle envelope that doesn't completely close it. I guess I can see that. So let's close it again. I'll open the decay up. Now there is a decay trimmer, which is an attenuverter for the decay CV input. So there's a decay CV input right here. And if you want to modulate the decay, as I'll do right now, now this is an actual LFO, I'm just messing around with the joystick plugging in, but yeah, there's an attenuverter for it. Much appreciated. Aphex Twin always modulated his decays, and you should too. But I won't for this demo. And yeah, so I will turn the trimmer all the way off and close the decay a little more, so we can just get some plucks. Hopefully that will help us accentuate the sound that you're hearing of it opening and closing. And then there's the material switch, which in my preamble, if I didn't cut it out there, I mentioned that I thought these were envelopes, and in a way I guess they are envelopes, but the manual describes them as like the physical modeling surfaces. So yeah, there are 3 modes. Up responds the hardest of the materials with lots of brightness and a very fast attack. The middle is the softest material with the slowest attack, more muffling, and lower volume. So you hear there is filtery stuff. Doesn't quite open as much. A little more muffled, a little less aggro too. And then the last mode is a balance between the two. And it sounds like that. Now I like to use the first mode because I like, when I'm using the steady state gate, I like to use a lot of resonance, and I think it sounds the best. But yeah, if you're doing bass lines or you're doing whatever, those other modes are a super useful addition as well. So yeah. And then if you can see this LED flashing right here, that is the openness indicator. So if we turn it all the way down, you'll see it's blipping a little more, but that's the scientific term, blipping. And if we open it all the way, it'll just stay on with a little bit, but it's nice and helpful to see what your dynamics are actually doing. And then, okay, the control input, let's patch that up. So there's a control input with a control trimmer that you'll see on the left here. And the trimmer is an attenuator for the control input. The 12 o'clock sets the gain at 0, and then fully clockwise sets the gain to 1, and fully counterclockwise sets the gain to 0. So you could open the gate with LFO or something using this. So let's bring it up to normal. So because I have it to the left, it's inverted, but if I turn to the right, so if I could make that as simple as possible for myself, I would say that you modulate your decays with the top input, and it's a attenuator, and you modulate the envelope with the control input. So when you're not sending any positive or negative voltage to the control, it'll show green, which I'm showing on this one here, but if we bring it in this left one where the sound is coming in, let's just do a sweep so you can hear how if you're not modulating the control with the input, the attenuator will attenuate it as well. Kind of, if you've used mutable modules before, you know how some things are also controlled by the attenuator. So if we crank that, it's even open at the shortest decay, but we'll turn it down, make it negative. It's barely opening at the one. So you can basically just like adjust your range using this attenuator on the left. And then the other inputs, which I haven't talked about, there's the hit input, which is where I send my gate. I take the gate out, and now it's closed. So we'll put our gate back in, and it'll start plucking again. There's the input. Sorry, that is the output. Mono output on this side, and a mono in on the right side. I'm going to use the init quote-unquote patch, basically the first patch that the manual suggests. So base gate state, it says open slider all the way down, which I already have. Decay about 25% up, which is where I basically already am. Material in the up position, which it is. Nothing plugged into the control inverter. We have it set to new, which you can tell by the green illumination. There it is. And then we don't have to do anything else on there, and this is your init patch. So this is how the natural gate sounds. That's cool. All right, let's try a little different patch, or different sound from our oscillator, I should say. Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, a nice, natural sounding percussive gate. Yeah, it's really a very nice gate. For me, I prefer the grit of the steady state gate. This thing is beautifully hi-fi, beautifully clean. I don't know if that suits my style as much as the steady state gate does, but I do love low pass gates, and I can't say that enough, that like the simplicity and the variation you get in this, especially being able to handle two voices, like, I don't know, for me, I really appreciate that, and I know there's a lot of depth and a lot of fun and a lot of customization to be had with a filter, an envelope, and a VCA all separate. But I love that natural gate, that any low pass gate can just bring that all together into one thing. And natural gate is, if that sound is to your taste, which I prefer the steady state gate, I like the nastier stuff. But obviously, most people who are into Eurorack aren't doing it to sound grisly. They want the drones, they want the pretty, they want the rings into clouds. That's not to say that I'm unique. I'm not unique in any way, but it's just to say that, like, if you want pretty and you like low pass gates, then I think the natural gate is an awesome choice. But for my money, I think 2 steady state gates is the way that I would go. All right, I'm Tafony. Thank you for listening. Talk to you soon. See you later.